Yeah. Wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. Happy Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. Unless you're one of the cool kids on the block hanging out right before it's technically, but whatever. Monday, full of baseball. A lot of games throughout the day. Night slate is a lot of day 5 starters, a lot of day 5 pitching that end up with a lot of day 5 pitching results. God dang, that's so good. Right now, a couple games still going. The Cubs and Athletics game is, man, it's looking like a high school game out there, dude. Right before I came over here, some bad defense created some more runs there. So through 5 innings of that one, that park certainly plays a lot more offensive friendly. And something else to think about is Oakland used to have larger foul territory, so a lot of pop-ups would get caught and pitchers could steal some outs. Saw a couple of infielders run out of real estate trying to catch some pop-ups. So, and none of that's a surprise. We expected it, but just to actually see it come through. I still don't quite know how to grade the part going forward for offense because both the pitchers in that game kind of suck. Quad A, Triple A guys, contact guys. But it's certainly going to project better than Oakland. So what I did was I just gave everything neutral grading and jumped on it. And so far, so good. Tyler Glass now is putting it together out there in LA through 5 innings with 8 strikeouts. That's what you want. Braves continuing to be on the schneid offensively. So far, they got a little bit of bad news with Jerickson Profar being on the gas. He's going to have to sit out 80 games, and if the Braves make the playoffs, he can't be part of that. Ellie De La Cruz, huge game out of him, as mentioned by chat. He was using the torpedo bat. A lot of people focus on that instead of the matchup in the park, but it certainly doesn't hurt. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of torpedo bats in the league within the next probably week and a half. And I got to say, I think it's a little bit overhyped. I don't think it's going to help every hitter. I think a lot of the sample size that we're reacting to right now is against Nestor Cortez, average at best lefty that the Yankees had a huge scouting report on. The Great American Small Park, if you're talking about Ellie, Aaron Savali, and the Brewers pitching staff that continues to get rocked today, got rocked by the Royals. So I think it's a net positive, but I think the early success is being completely credited to the bats, and people aren't really thinking about the other variables, such as the wall scraper homer that Volpe got, and just the good matchups. And Great American Ballpark's the number 1 park for bombs, so that helps too. We do get, the Yankees specifically, a look at Corbin Burns this week, a look at Zach Gallen, right? Some better upper echelon pitching to see just how beneficial those bats are. A lot of players have tried them, used them, don't like them. There are other players like Ryan Jeffers using it. He's not on the All-Star short list, so I just want everybody to calm it down. What up, Travis? What up, Cosmo? What up, Mitchell? What up, Seven? What up, Pojen? What up, Anthony? Oakland's ballpark is Coors Light. I don't know. Coors is a the most spacious outfield. It's just I guess the benefit of the altitude. It's gonna be a plus offensive park without a doubt. It's small, but I don't want to overreact to one game. But like I said, it was also two very junk pitchers, and it's still continuing to be bad pitchers. But yes, I think we're gonna be more excited for that game offensively day to day than we have been for Oakland, without a doubt. Another hit by Rooker would be nice for gambling reasons. Man, I had a I have a 4-leg home run parlay going right now. Kyle Tucker, Ohtani, Kerry Carpenter, and Lane Thomas. So the research, obviously all the picks are research-based, supported by the bomb detector. Kerry Carpenter, great matchup for a homer. Gets 2 at-bats in the first inning. They went all the way off on the kid in the second at-bats against a lefty. So it kind of stings to not get, multiple shots at the matchup you research for. But they batted around and went ballistic. I think they had 6 runs in the first. Ohtani drew a walk. That's always frustrating in his first at-bat. And then Teoscar, two hitters later, homers. Lane Thomas, Jose Ramirez homered in front of him. Who did I say was the other one? Oh, and Kyle Tucker. Tucker's having a great baseball game. Has obliterated his fantasy prop on PrizePicks. But he hasn't homered. But funny enough, the hitter two hitters behind him homered, Michael Bush, and then Dansby Swanson went back to back. So it's like I was on all of these spots for plus matchups for home runs, and maybe we get some late inning magic, but it's complete luck at that point. But yeah, overall today it's kind of what we expected, or at least what I expected. A lot of day 5 pitching, roughness. Also, I want to not encourage people to put out 4 homer parlays. I just did that for fun. It was $5 for 1,100 on PrizePicks. Hedged all of it with I went heavy on the Tucker and Ohtani fantasy points. Tucker smashed it. Ohtani's actually not there yet, but the night is young. We'll see. What up, Unique? Mets look good today, Unique. Little salami from the polar bear. That was nice. 2 at-bats is what you should project for the starter targeting. Yeah, 2, maybe 2.5 implied. It's crazy that the second one in the first inning, it's a lefty, but he's having a decent day. All that's just frustrating for the home run parlay. You should never fire off a home run parlay and sweat it, at least not in the first inning. I just thought it was funny that the first time through, everyone I was on was somewhat connected to a homer. It just wasn't them. So it's funny, but I'm doing well overall. I think if Ohtani can get there, it'll be a really profitable night. O'Neal 4 for 4, but no bomb, right? Yeah, I think if you do play PrizePicks, and again, sports books probably have better opportunities for you guys. I can't in Texas, so I have to lean on PrizePicks. But if you guys are ever on guys to hit homers, make sure you're getting action on their total bases or their fantasy point prop on PrizePicks, at least as a hedge. Still have some fun like I did. But yeah, when Tyler O'Neill goes 4 for 4, puts up crazy amount of fantasy points, but you're got your thumb up your butt because he didn't send one over the wall. But it's all good. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, Pojin, but I don't care. At this point, I just want Ohtani to kind of convert the fantasy points, and I'll be good, right? Home run lays are max $1. Yeah, 100%. I think I did $5 for 1,100, and like I said, I think I'm getting gypped on PrizePicks odds for 4-pick parlays. What are you gonna do? Cubs can lose this game? Yeah. So we got a decent sized slate of baseball games for Tuesday. Most of it falls on the night main slate, but there are 2 games floating at, I believe, 6:40. That's gonna be on an island, I believe on both sites. Sometimes Fanduel can get tricky, but I don't think they added it to the main. Let me see. Oh my god, this is so good. Hold on, guys. I have to verify that I'm a human being for Fanduel. 1 second. Okay, I clicked one button. I'm a human. Got it. Yeah, Fanduel doesn't have it on their main slate. So we'll talk about those 2 games. Just to talk about them. But we'll have to go crazy with it. A little more on 2+ bases than we bet, yeah. Hey guys, today only, since we launched the website, we kind of got through our first week here at MLBgrind.com. We've got, I think, 12 premium members. I appreciate everybody that has signed up. Like I said, this is a passion project that I put out. I keep saying we, like I'm representing the company. It's me over here. It's a passion project I put out because I have an insatiable love for the sport of baseball. I love DFS. I love the hunt of researching baseball. All this is essentially unnecessary in the grand scheme of things. You could just fire up projections, simulate lineups, and click enter. Make money. I don't know why. I just like doing it. So if you could appreciate that, we're cut from the same cloth. And since YouTube doesn't have my channel eligible for monetization right now, because 2 years of dormant activity, we probably won't get monetized for at least 2 months on a good stretch. The only way that what we do generates revenue is by memberships at MLBgrind.com. So if you are looking for a way to support the channel and also get access to the spreadsheet, the right now hand crafted pitcher projections, and by the end of this week we'll also have the hitter projections we can transfer to the sites we play, the DFS sites, and for PrizePicks. Go to MLBgrind.com, click premium memberships, sign up today only as a celebration of the launch and getting through the first week. You could get the entire rest of the season less than $200, as they would say, $199. And that's the promo for today. After today, it goes back to, I forget what it was. It was either like $240, $250, something like that. So a little extra bang for your buck. And that unlocks the spreadsheet. It unlocks the MLB Grind Premium Discord. We've been having fun in there. A lot of good strategy talk. A lot of fun sweating. So far, it's been pretty healthy. So if you guys want to join a community of like-minded baseball freaks, love to have you. Love to have you. Marte got into one for sure. All right, so let's jump over to the spreadsheet and get into the first 2 games that are not on the main slate. And we could definitely see some offense generated from this first game. Out there in Cincinnati, as we saw yesterday, Kumar Rocker got rocked. Nathan Eovaldi is going to toe the slab against Carson Spears. Eovaldi looked pretty sharp in Game 1 against the Red Sox. 17.2% swinging strike rate. The Red Sox have not recovered since that game. A 42.9% K rate in that game. We're going to taper all those numbers down. That's not what he's going to do in the long term. Probably expect him to be a 1-4 strikeout guy on a good day. And this is a team that kind of wide range of outcomes in terms of strikeout potential. So if you're playing that slate where you got 4 pitchers to choose from, he's probably the most talented in and of himself for strikeout propensity. So you have to get some of them. If this was a wider slate, I'd sure be more pessimistic on the ballpark and how active the Reds looked yesterday. But you absolutely have to get to him on that small slate, and he's probably easily going to be the highest projected owned pitcher, highest projected fantasy points. And if you're playing this 2-game slate, it's probably very I'm gonna say very smart. I know I say on these short slates, unlock players against your pitchers. I think on this slate, if I got a Eovaldi in my lineup, I could see 2 Reds in the lineup as well, and hopefully they get there off the bullpen. So let's stack the ballpark. Let's go with Eovaldi 1. Let's go Rangers 2, then Reds, and then Carson Spears. 90.2 innings last year, a 4.84 expected ERA, sub 20% K rate. None of that is what you want. I do want to go pull up the game preview. So most players, or most pitchers that we're dealing with, have already pitched the game, so we can lean on that. But in this case, I got nothing on Mr. Spears. So let's go check out his spring, see how that went. I can't imagine anything's going to change my tune on him. Hopefully we don't. Not hopefully we, because I probably don't play this late. But can we talk about Martin Perez while this loads? Can you guys believe the nonsense that happened? White Sox just put the hurting on the Twins. I mean, they yanked Buxton and Correa in the 4th inning. That's how bad it got. It really wasn't that bad at that point, but yeah, Martin Perez out there looking like a young Kershaw. If you played him, congrats. I didn't touch that slate. Sometimes, if I'm busy and I don't play a slate, I'll go back, check some box scores, check some results. A lot of times it's like, oh man, I would have cleaned up that slate. No, I felt like I would have lost all my money, and would have lost so bad, I would have been like, yo, here's more money, because I wasn't going to shove Martin Perez. I probably got stuck on Chris Paddock. It was rough. 12 innings in spring for Mr. Spears. 6 strikeouts. 60 pitches in his second to last start. A 175 average allowed is pretty doggone good. 0.83 on the whip. 145 ground out to air out ratio. So heavy contact pitcher, heavy ground ball rate. Did allow a homer in each of his last 2 starts. A couple of redeeming qualities here, but short sample, right? Rangers, a contact team. If we dip into Carson Spears' splits from last year, he had an incredible problem with left-handed hitters. And when I crunch all those numbers, man, Rangers lefties, namely Corey Seager and Jock Peterson, are breaking the bomb detector. 4.64, 4.54 in the first bomb detector run, which is just an incredibly high number. Usually that number means that a pitcher is being considered on like 4 plate appearances, but in this case we're looking at 90 innings. So just to be a little on the safe side, we'll see exactly how many innings are being processed in that split last year. 44.2, 10 homers in those 44 innings, 15 walks. We go look at the batted ball splits against lefties. I passed it, I guess. There it goes. The 41% pull rate. Does pop people up. The ground ball rate in spring is something to just keep an eye on. I can't watch every game, guys. I don't know if it was luck or not, but he's not been a big ground ball guy. So I guess we could Carson Spears. I'm gonna Google Carson Spears' new pitch to see if he, like, I don't know, picked up a sinker or something, because all of a sudden he was inducing ground balls. Nothing came up. All right, Carson Spears, Reds. I don't know if it's an anomaly throughout spring, and if you guys got anything, chat, let me know. But in every game he had a 1.3 or better ground out to air out ratio, so over 50%. So Cubs 10 runs, not a Tucker homer, right? I don't know. I'll check this article, see if there's anything. It could just be an anomaly. I don't want to get lost in researching a game that's not on the main slate. But I guess keep that in the back of your mind. He induced more ground balls than he should have. I can't play him, though. He didn't get no strikeouts. So, Eovaldi, Rangers, Reds would be my interest ranking there. He did introduce a sinker. That's usually the explanation for a sudden increase in ground ball rate. You sent the link. Oh, it didn't come through unless it's in... Alright. Well, we guessed correctly. Let's go big screen, by the way. I keep forgetting to do that. Tucker on deck. I'm not sweating that anymore, dude. I got my fantasy points for him. There's just no shot I'm getting 4 homers. I haven't got any yet. Has Ohtani got a hit this season? He homered on opening day, no? Well, I think he homered on both opening days, technically. Right? Alright, second game on that early duo slate. Kota Senga taking on Sandy Alcantara. Mets and Marlins. Kota has been out of it for a couple years, essentially. Go check out his spring results. Nine innings in spring, 9 strikeouts. Fly ball pitcher, a 1-2 overall whip, a 257 average allowed, and just 1 homer. Pretty run-of-the-mill stuff. I think 59 pitches in that last game, 53, so we probably expect 70 to 80 conservatively on a 2-game slate. Against the Marlins, I think you absolutely have to consider him, especially Eovaldi's in such a volatile park. So let's go him. Then Sandy Alcantara. I didn't adjust this season or what? Let me see. I just coded in this year's stuff, but I guess I missed. Huh? Oh, I didn't put it all on the right side. All right, I'll do that later. It's just a copy and paste, but all right. Sandy, this will be Sandy's second start. So meticulous. In the 4.2 innings in his first start, we saw a 17.6% swinging strike rate against Pittsburgh. That's encouraging. Fastball, sinker, slider, cutter, changeup. A lot of pitches. That's encouraging. 257 xFIP in that game, and love to see that, and a 78% overall ground ball rate. So he's trending in the right direction to get back to old school Sandy. Mets are a scary team to pitch against. I think if you're playing that slate, you absolutely have to switch between all 3 of those viable pitchers, that being Sandy, Senga, and Eovaldi. But then you also gotta understand that not every 2-game slate is going to have 12 homers, and sometimes 3 guys in your lineup will have 6 or less fantasy points. So we'll go Mets on that slate as well. And I'll go Marlins Substack. That list gets real short, real But that's how we played that early slate. Pretty simple. In Japan series, I think he homered in the first. He homered in one of the Japan games, and I swear he opened on homered on opening day, but I could have that wrong. I'm pretty sure he did. Lindor will go off tomorrow, having the first baby boy. All right, let's go. Narrative alert. Pirates at the Rays. Now we're starting the main slate action. I didn't have a run total from this game yet. I do now. 3.9 versus 4.8. This is... It's gonna bug me. Jose Barrios. That'll be a good sign. All right. Let me fill this in real quick. I was adding this season stats to the spreadsheet earlier. Now that this slate features a lot of second time through the order. So as a broadcaster, it makes it much easier for me if I could just read it off of here. Like that 17% swing and strike rate for Sandy. There we go. All right, Tampa looked good yesterday. Shane Baz taking on Justin Lawrence. So we don't have Baz entering his second start. So let's go check out his minor league stuff. MLB.com doesn't list a pitcher for Pittsburgh, but I pulled Justin Lawrence from a source. So if anybody else has seen a different name, let me know. 9.1 innings pitched in spring for Shane. 59 pitches his last outing. 4 Ks, 9.1 innings. So that's not great. 193 whip. That's not great. 342 average allowed. Not what you want. He had 4 walks in one game, which inflates his 5 and 9.1. Some days you just ain't got it. So between the uncertainty in strikeout ability through 3 games, parlayed with, I'm not sure what a reasonable pitch projection would be, 75. And then, I mean, the matchup is average plus, but I think I'm not that interested in Baz early on, just because I'm not sure what we're dealing with. Last season, if we just get 1-to-1 from last season to today, you're putting these numbers, that 4.3 Sierra, 3.62 expected ERA, not terrible. Very good whip, 21% K rate, 11% swing and strike rate, 7% barrel rate. Get some middling overall numbers where maybe I could lean on him to fill out the back half of a DraftKings 150. Implied to win by about a run. Maybe you scoop and score the win bonus on Fanduel. Kind of hard to imply the quality start because not sure that he's got enough bullets in the magazine to get through 6. So I think that's one of those guys that since the first game of the docket, I'm gonna not write him down. I don't think he's in the pool right now, but I certainly wouldn't fault you if you are looking to fill out the back end of a little bit more contrarian 150, because there is some strikeouts in this Pirates lineup. And he could be a 1-4 to a 1-5 strikeout guy in this matchup. But I'm gonna lean the other way, or look the other way for now. We do have to introduce the Rays into the mix here. Almost a 5-run total. Justin Lawrence, if that's our guy right now. A 3.56 expected ERA from his 2 innings of work. Wait, is this just gonna be a bullpen game? I don't even know what to look up right now. Oh yeah, dude, he's a straight up reliever. Might be a bullpen game. Let's go Pittsburgh. He had a blown save and a hold. Wait, he's pitched the last 2 days? He's not pitching tomorrow. I think this is bad info. I guess technically he had Sunday or Monday off. So he had a day off, but pitched it 2 days prior. I don't know what we're doing here, guys, with Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. If anybody else has a different name for Pittsburgh, please share it. Maybe one will drop by the end of the stream. I think we're just leaning on the Vegas total here and going with it. So Rays offense. Probably just pitching around and more cautious, I guess. Seems like 0-2, 2 walks and such. Much team in my lineup. Not really complaining because getting high teens, low 20s in my lineup. Yeah, he like I said, he threw a walk in his first at bat, but it's kind of hard to pitch around him, or at least with Mookie on deck, and we saw Teoscar go yard today. He's got incredible protection, so it's a little tough to pitch around him. But yeah, I mean, 2 homers through the first week is not bad. It's just we have such a high expectation for him because he's a freaking unicorn, and guys like Judge are going nuts. All right, Rays offense from here. We'll asterisk. Let me put a note in here. Not actually sure who's starting for Pitt. Could be pen game. And nothing else needed notes, right? D-backs against the Yankees. Now we get to put the torpedo bats to test. The Yankees coming off a day of rest. Kind of unfair. A lot of teams played on through the weekend. Not the Yankees. The Yankees didn't even travel in between. They let the D-backs travel. Corbin Burns on the bump for the D-backs, taking on Will Warren. Corbin Burns is 8.6K on DraftKings, 9,700 on Fanduel. Last year and the year prior, over 190 innings. He's been a workhorse. So, great first test for him with the D-backs to see if under the lights of the Bronx he could quiet what was the hottest offense of the opening weekend. 13 innings in spring, 16 strikeouts, a 1.62 whip, elevated 328 average allowed, not great, and 2 walks is good. So did allow quite a few hits. Matter of fact, all of those hits essentially came from the last game. 11 hits in 2.2 innings. Not what you want. 7 earnings, but 8 runs. Might have been a little, might have been an error in the mix there. Not going to overreact to those columns too much. We do like to see the strikeouts, and then we also like to see the 75 pitches, meaning he's very live to throw 85, 90 today if they needed it. So we'll put 75 pitches in last spring start for Burns. Did get hit up, though, over a K per inning through spring. And then the Yankees. Right now, I got the Yankees as a slight dog. So that kind of shows you some respect for Corbin Burns, especially in the betting market after the hype on the Yankees. But it also kind of shows you they're not sure what to expect from Will Warren. Last year, 22 innings of sample size for Warren, 11.4% barrel rate, 4.52 expected ERA. This is one of the fringe guys going into the season for the Yankees. with the panic button pressed after the Garrett Cole injury. I'm gonna go check out his spring. Oswaldo Cabrera has a homer off of Corbin Burns. That's funny. 18 innings of spring pitching in March. 18 strikeouts. That's good. 5 homers, 2 in each of the last 2 games. Not what you want. Has been a ground ball pitcher through spring. A 1.92 ground out to air out ratio in March. And 6 walks. So 2 walks in the last 2 games, 2 homers in the last 2 games. We're seeing some strikeout potential. So kind of all over the place, right? Range of outcomes with the K percentage that he could get through. And then a range of outcomes with the hard contact, the 11% barrel rate, and the home run problem against a team that is really good. Kind of see both sides of the fence there, right? So first and foremost, I think we're going offenses in this one. I'd be curious to see where the Yankees fall in terms of ownership. Just in a vacuum, 5,600, 6,300, 4,700, 5,800 for Jazz Chisholm after his double dong day. Like, these are kind of crazy in and of themselves prices against Corbin Burns. So I wonder if that's something that we'll see neutralize the Yankee ownership, or will the field just keep going back to him? Like I said, torpedo bats be darned. We were talking Aaron Savali, Nestor Cortez. I mean, there's 2 games they had to put Jake Bauers on the bump, and Jake Bauers was their best pitcher. This is different. Fun as a fan. But Corbin Burns is somebody the Brewers sorely miss, huh? So I'm going to want to play Yankees, but we'll see what the field values them at, matchup considered, especially since they're a little doggy here. Also think you gotta, I think we introduced Corbin Burns into the mix a little bit. This is still a strikeout prone team. Since the beginning of last year against righties, only Austin Wells, Cody Bellinger, and Oswaldo Cabrera have sub 20% K rates. It's not going to be a fun, easy matchup by any stretch for Corbin, but he has the talent to miss those bats. And maybe it's one of those field doesn't make a click at all just because the Yankees are scary offense. They kind of scared to pitch at them. I think something has to give there. So I think Corbin Burns, at least at 8,600 on DraftKings, absolutely could shine metrics when you isolate metrics. I think we go Yankees offense at third here just because this offense is going to be fun all year. And I like the bottom half with a little scrappiness and a little speed. The Corbin Burns ground ball rate, hopefully, for his sake, will neutralize this insane, crazy torpedo cheating bat. But last year and the year prior, he did have a problem with home runs to righties. And there's a guy named Aaron Judge. He's right-handed. You might have heard of him. Just got to get through him. But I still like him. I like him a lot. I like him a little bit more pre-flop than the Yankees offense for sure, especially price considered on DraftKings. Will Warren, I just don't think I'm going to take the risk here on him having the positive range of outcome at that 26% K rate. And I think it's mainly due to the matchup. It's not a strikeout matchup. Only Eugenio Suarez, who has been on a freaking tear home run-wise, has a over 18% to 19% K rate outside of Pavin Smith against righties. So this could be a long day for Warren, and this could jump into the bullpen pretty quickly. To the Yankees' credit, but maybe even discredit, their lopsided games over the weekend has prevented them from having to go through the talent guys, right? Devin Williams had that rough opening day save, 36 pitches against the Brewers, more full counts than a vampire convention with catering. You know what I mean? Like that was a tough inning for him. Luke Weaver, same thing. Opening day, got in there. Tim Hill, Mark Leader. These are the guys that are likely to see action in a less than 3-run game, not necessarily the head Ricks and Fernando Cruz's, these guys. So some pitchers don't like having that many days off, and maybe a little rust. Maybe a little rust could be in the picture here if they got to go to the bullpen early because of a Will Warren collapse. Yarbrough is a guy that we saw in Tampa Bay. He was a opener to long reliever. If you project for a Will Warren collapse, I think you might look at 2+ innings of Ryan Yarbrough, and just pulling up his numbers real quick. First of all, you turn around Ketel Marte, and then you really get a nice ISO number from like Suarez. I think that's another plus for this team here. So I would say a worst case scenario or a best case scenario for a D-back stack looks like a Will Warren collapse, bunch of homers, and then a Yarbrough comes in there, and D-backs can shine. So the Yankee fan in me, I actually might, I already have the D-backs as my top interest ranking here. The Yankee fan in me doesn't want that to happen, but I could see that as a range of outcome here. So D-backs look really, really good pre-flop. And then I don't think, I would say, if the game does stay tight though, and they're able to scrap with Burns here, and it's like a 2 to 3 run game, then they do get to their more talented arms. And then you might even see guys like Luke Weaver, even if it's like a 3-run difference in this. I think Weaver's going to be the setup guy, but you don't want to over rest those guys. So I don't know how Booney would play that, but I like the D-backs as the top option from this game pre-flop. That was a lot of rambling, a lot of thinking out loud. My bad. Get caught up in chat. Tucker RBI double. Yeah, Tucker's going crazy. Sad the Jays let the Yankees get him. Yeah, I think he's a good pickup, but I do like the D-backs against the lefty. The ISOs stay high. The OPSs are great. So it wasn't necessarily picking on Yarbrough, but I think he's a fireman if Warren, if they hang 3 on him or something and it's time to get him out of there, you kind of look at him to maybe hold it. Nationals at the Blue Jays. Next on the docket, Nationals 3.9 implied run total. Blue Jays 4.8. Trevor Williams spinning the seams for the Nats. Jose Barrios looking to bounce back after that disastrous first start. Continuing the red for him. Man, what a bad outing. Let's go to the Trevor Williams side first and see what we can pull away from spring with him. Historically, a contact righty with nothing that wows you. Let me see if there's anything different from spring though. 16.1 innings, 18 strikeouts. That's good. 0.8 ground out to air out ratio, 135 whip, so elevated whip, and it looks like it's just from allowing a high average. He had 2 walks in March, but allowed 20 hits in 14 innings, or excuse me, 16 innings. No homers. Don't think I'm going to sign up to pitch him against the Blue Jays here. Blue Jays 4.8 implied run total versus a hittable pitcher. We jot the Blue Jays as the top of our interest rankings here. Jose Barrios. I mean, I get it. You want to be on some guys before the field is, but I think this experiment's over for me. I wasn't really on him. I was definitely not on him against the Orioles. But I don't even have like metrics I could look at and be like, yeah, he's unlucky. I don't know. I mean, I guess the 13.3% swing and strike rate in that Orioles game is encouraging, but it's only 5 innings, 15 outs, 22% call strike. These are just inflated from lack of at bats, and he got just smacked. I think the Orioles are way more talented as a young power team than the Nationals, but the Nationals not a super strikeout team, and a couple of guys here that do project decently well against righties. We finally saw some power out of Abrams yesterday. It was a day late for me. James Wood, same thing. These are guys that are not free outs here. So Jose Berrios has allowed hard contact 3 years straight, over a 33% clip to both sides of the plate. Home run problem. I'm just not pitching him, to say the least. I think it would get to a Nats Substack, and that's a heavy focus on the top of this lineup. Although I might be able to stretch 4 or 5. Abrams, Wood, Josh Bell, maybe. Yeah, I think you could. I feel more comfortable with 2 or 3 than 5, but that's where I'm at there. No pitching for me. Blue Jays and Nats, yeah. K per inning in spring. Let's put his pitch 74. He threw 91 pitches on March 18th. 318. So they might let him go 5-6 if he's getting lucky, yeah. But just generally don't expect a lot of upside. Let's check out the pitch report on Trevor Williams. Fastball, slider. That's about it. Dude, the Blue Jays don't have an incredible grade since the beginning of last year against the fastball. This is actually somewhat surprising. A couple of positives against the slider. Again, the pitch report is not necessarily a predictive metric. It grades a hitter's result on the pitch, and then puts it on like a per 100. It's kind of like WRC plus, where 100 or zeros the average, and then a positive number is above average and negatives below. So this doesn't mean because they've done this in the past, this is what they're going to do in the future. But it does help me make some decisions. And they grade the best against the changeup, but they actually are like super average against the fastball. That's kind of crazy. So maybe a 7K Trevor Williams could surprise people in that SB2 spot. I don't think I got the Cajones from where I'm at right now, but maybe. Maybe. Nationals going to be the cheap, sneaky team for DFS this year. They're not that cheap, man. 5K for Abrams on DK, 5K essentially for James Wood. Whoever's doing the pricing for DraftKings, I think they're doing a sharp job. It used to didn't be like this. I'd be curious to see how the course pricings come out, especially since the Rockies suck, you know? It used to be a 5K stack or 5K like minimum for bats and cores. Twins and White Sox. Next game on the docket. Simeon Woods Richardson to take on Shane Smith. 4.3 run total for the Twins, 3.4 for the Sox. Man, Sox can't get no respect, huh? Let's see what we can pull out on Mr. Shane Smith. Actually, both of them. Start with the White Sox or the Twins side. The Twins have Twins had a rough day. You know, a rough day. Wasn't great. 13.1 innings pitched in the spring for Simeon. 10 Ks. A 1.5 whip. 3 walks in that last outing. No walk, 2 walks. So it did have 5 walks, but it came from 2 games out of 5. Only 3 bombs, but only 1 in the month of March. And then 9 hits in that last outing. So that last outing was kind of all over the place. 81 pitches. So we'll go 81 pitches and last spring start. Stats. Wide range of results. Last season, 133.2 innings pitched for Simeon. 405 expected ERA, a 20% K rate, sub 10% swinging strike rate, 8% barrel rate. So, kind of what we saw. We didn't. I mean, the walk rate was. It was alright. I gotta fix these colors on the NAs. I mean, I'm not ready to run and respect the White Sox yet, but Benintendi, Andrew Vaughn, showing a little life lately. I don't know what to do with this. The White Sox are going to be that hard team for me to figure out. I mean, the 3.4 run total is it's pretty low. Looks like this might end up being one of those cold Chicago games. Maybe that's what's implicating some of these totals. Looking at mid 40s with wind blowing in. So maybe it's just like an ugly cold baseball game. Otherwise, I can't really get too hyped about either side. I think this game just might be a wash. Neither offense is gonna excite me, and apparently we can't trust the the Twins not to bench starters in the 4th inning like this is NBA. 4 games in spring for Shane Smith, 3 in March, 9 innings, 10 Ks. That's a good sign. 0.56 whip. That's incredible. 0.78 ground out to air out. So fly ball pitcher there. A lot of those strikeouts. I'm gonna say, I don't know how to word that. Just 2 strikeouts and 4 innings in that last outing, but generally though, good results. Only 58 pitches. 58 pitches last spring start. Overall, for Smith, overall good short results. Low whip. Good K. We can go to MLB.com, I guess. See what Shane Smith might be bringing. I feel so old. I just went to Google to put. Wait. All right, if we did it right, 2024 regular season for Shane Smith in the minors. 46.1 innings versus lefties, 136 average allowed, a 1.49 ground out to air out ratio. So crazy ground ball numbers against lefties, 48 Ks and 46.1 innings. That's good. 3 homers in 46 innings. That's good. Against righties, 47.1 innings, 65 strikeouts, a 0.69 ground. So he's a fly ball pitcher to righties. 16 walks in 47 innings. 2 homers. What, if anything, is an early K prop on Mr. Shane Smith? Doesn't look like we got one yet. We'll hit a refresh. Got nothing. Interesting. So, could we say 75 pitches for him? Really good strikeout numbers in the minors. and over a K per in spring. And might have some coldness to back him up. So that's somewhat at that price on DK. Like he's kind of I'm a little interested. This is kind of like a depressed Twins lineup on the road in the blistering cold with wind blowing in. As of now, that might change tomorrow. Shane Smith might be cheap enough on DK to have a puncher's chance at 18-20. So I'll kind of lean it on that. And I don't think I'm getting to Mr. Simeon. But I'll say if you got that feeling in your bad knee, because the White Sox are still the White Sox, I mean I'd dang near pitch one of you guys against the White Sox if you tell me you had a good slider. You know what I mean? I don't know. Moving on, Royals at the Brewers. Royals went crazy yesterday. Michael Lorenzen on the bump for him. He'll be up against Chad Patrick. We don't play people with two first names, so we can automatically... I'm joking. We're going to go pull up Patrick from spring. 4 games total. 5.1 innings, so nothing. 59 pitches on the 22nd. 5 Ks and 5. No homers. He might be somebody we got to pull up his... It says 1 inning pitch this year. Chad Patrick. Threw 22 pitches on Saturday. Are the Brewers about to have a bullpen game? Let's put an asterisk. Patrick threw on Saturday. Potential bullpen game. I'm just pulling names from a source here. Doesn't seem like Chad Patrick lines up to pitch. Yeah. It feels like an opener if he's actually the guy. But we'll see. It could just be bad reports. Brewers are in shams pitching wise. So I don't think I'm getting if I'm getting a 6K, I'm just pitching Shane Smith. With that said, Brewers favorited to win a game in the year 2025. It's cold out there, but it don't really matter. They close the hood. Michael Lorenzen, 18% K rate for him last year. He's one of the most fun to root for, but not actually great for DFS pitchers. Nice dude. 15 innings. In March. 78 pitches his last outing. Spring start for Lorenzen. He's never been a strikeout guy, so I don't think that's gonna change. 8 Ks in 15 innings. That's what you expect. 2 homers, 14 hits. So a 1.2 whip. I would say this is probably their best chance, the Brewers, that is, to get off the schneid. Get a little something going. Offensively, just a 4.5 run total, though. I'm going to list them at the top of my interest rankings for this game. And then I'm going to go Royals here. I'm going to go look up Chad Patrick while I... Oh, no, we just said bullpen, right? So we're going on offense only, I think. Royals are pretty fun in a balanced sense, but you're kind of just betting on talent here. You don't truly expect them to get 2 at-bats versus any one pitcher. From where I'm sitting here, that might change tomorrow. So we're just going on offense in a plus power park, not necessarily overall offensive park, right? That's how we do that. Brewers have the Euchre curse. They are done already. Relax. Saddle down. Cardinals hosting the Angels. Kyle Hendricks taking on Matthew Liberatore. I was a little bit surprised when I got to type in Kyle Hendricks' name today. This guy doesn't die. He feels older than 35, I gotta say. So maybe that's my bad, Kyle. I'm actually older than you. That's my bad. Respect. 16.2 innings in March for Kyle. 13 strikeouts. 76 pitches in March. Who can I comp Kyle Hendricks to at this stage in his career? Would Charlie Morton be the comp? Fastball, curveball, changeup. I think maybe Morton throws more curveball, but soft tossing, man. 87.7 miles an hour is his average fastball. There are pitchers. I'm not. This isn't hyperbole. There are pitchers whose changeup is faster. Matter of fact, technically, Liberatore's changeup registers faster on average than his fastball. So it's kind of like when Zach Greinke's changeup was basically his fastballs. 74 on the curve, 80.1 or 80.9 average miles per hour on his changeup. That's not necessarily like a great thing though. Just because somebody throws soft, it's almost trappy because science, right? A lot of times the mid 90s, high 90s, that's what the hitters like to hit to generate power off of, right? And we kind of see that, at least against righties. Hendricks has last year 185 homer per night to lefties, but the hard contact was really low. 7% barrel rate, 6% barrel rate. Just kind of go out there, eat some innings, pitching to contact. So for DFS, he's unplayable. But I don't necessarily think he's one of those guys I gotta go get some exposure against because he doesn't throw gas, you know. We want to see the multiple home runs allowed to pay off a stack. 4.7 run total for the Cardinals. We did see some power out of him yesterday. I want to say Lars Nootbaar. Was Brendan Donovan in the other run? I think those two homered. Don't quote me on Donovan. I'm pretty sure Nootbaar did. And then the Angels have been rough. They get a lefty today. Liberatore last year, a 4.2 expected ERA, 21% K rate, 11.6% swing and strike rate. So maybe some room for increasement on the K rate, but generally probably not too enthralled with him here. A little bit of unknown in this Angels lineup coming into this season in terms of splits against lefties. Trout was absent so much that I just don't even have a sample size since the beginning of last year against lefties, but it's Mike Trout. You want to talk about somebody being due, man, this guy. Moncada's been rough the last couple years, and then the bottom of this lineup gets kind of rough. So this is probably a Substack or solo shot only game for me. I think on the grand scheme of this whole slate, if I got nothing from this game, I'm chilling. 56 degrees. Looks like some wind could be blowing out there in Busch as well. If Liberatore put together a not horrible 7.3K game on DraftKings, just because the Angels have been kind of rough, and he's got some stuff going his way with the park and the wind, I wouldn't be surprised. From where I'm at right now, I'm probably just chilling on the game as a whole, though. Donovan Nootbaar, all right. That softest oil's only effective when you throw heat ahead of it. Nah, I don't. Like, it makes that more effective for like swing and misses, yeah, because it's changing the mental speed. But a lot of times, soft contact or a lot of low velo pitches are accompanied with soft contact. Just because one, hitters are kind of so calibrated for gas, and two, it's just like it's pretty one-sided. If Nestor's your 2, how good is that team gonna be? Yeah. What up, Squeak? Hope you've been all right. What up, Pinstripe, Papa? Anybody else I miss? Appreciate all you guys. Everyone but Nestor can throw low 90s and high 80s, get away with it. Yeah, Nestor throws. I mean, he's always thrown like nothing. But Nestor be throwing some disrespectful slow fastballs high in the zone. That's when it's really, really a problem. But your pitches with spin with no velo is kind of what I'm talking about in terms of inducing soft contact. That, and we saw like CC Sabathia later in his career. I think he picked up a cutter via Andy Pettit. And just like pitches like that, pitches that like are almost designed to draw contact. Once you realize you're not missing bats, you're gonna target guys with high bat speeds versus these slow pitchers. Makes sense. But Hendricks has been out there throwing sub 90s for years. So you kind of know what you're going to get with him. It's just like the tail end of Zach Greinke, where they just frustratingly suffocated games for 5 innings and went from there. Brews are done. Nah, it's week 1 of the regular season. I mean, if they don't make moves, they're done. They were done before the season started, you know, right? But man, you gotta look at the American League past the AL East. The door is wide open. That AL Central has just been disgusting. Like average to bad. Look at last year. Not AL. NL. Brain. NL Central last year. The Brewers were 20 games above 500, and like it wasn't even close. The rest of the league or the division was just horrendous. And it's more of the same this year. None of these teams, maybe the Cubs definitely got, I would say Tucker over Bellinger's an upgrade. So like the Cubs are like my pick, I guess, to be the best offense here. And the Brewers are definitely not 20 games better than everyone else, in my opinion. But just because a team has a bad first week, bad first weekend, it's a long season, bro. It is a long season. The Yankees. Let me see. I want to say the 98 Yankees, 97, 98. Let's see. 98 Yankees schedule. I'm such a nerd for this. The Yankees lost 4 of their first 5 in 98, and they went on to win like 111 games. So, just don't give up on a team after the first week. Baseball is a crazy sport. Streaks, hot and cold, luck, midseason moves. The Brewers, though, I'm not here to push the Brewers. They felt like they were selling when they traded Devin Williams. Couldn't retain Corbin a couple years ago. But you'd be surprised. But I do think, yeah, the Brewers went backwards in his own division for sure. I mean, as a general, like the Red Sox are off to a horrendous start too, right? Rafi Devers is like Chris Davis levels of what happened, but it's whatever. Last season, the month of April, Aaron Judge was one of the worst hitters, and then he won MVP. The moral of the story is just don't overreact. Don't go crazy with absolutes in baseball after 4-5 games in 50-degree weather, you know. But yes, the Brewers need to make moves. It's not a Brewers are good rant. That's a no team is locked or out of it yet rant. What's up, Earth to Air? Hope you're doing all right. Appreciate that, Squeak. Positive energy vibe is second to none. I appreciate that. Giants and the Astros. Logan Webb taking on Hayden Wesneski. Was he a Cub? Logan Webb, this will be his second outing. 5 innings in the first outing. A 14.3% barrel rate. Not what you want. 7.7% swing and strike rate. And a 22% K rate in those 5 innings. Kind of in line with his last 2 seasons. Obviously, the barrel rate's got to regress. But generally, not a massive strikeout guy. You might get a 1 in 5 strikeout from him, right? Pitch to contact, high ground ball rate. And he faces an Astros team not likely to offer a ton of strikeouts. So that's going to kind of diminish his upside, in my opinion. Astros offense did kind of struggle yesterday. 8,500 again. I think these DraftKings pitching prices today, they're tempting, right? I think Logan Webb is at 8,500. There's a true range of outcomes where, you know, that pushes 20 fantasy points. It's just you're not happy about this matchup, but the ground ball rate is what you want. And if he strikes out 1 in 5 at 8K on a slate that might not be full of 30 fantasy point pitching performances, I don't think it's a crazy look for him on DK. Is all I'm saying. And then Wesneski, he did not pitch 5 days ago. Let's look at his spring. Thomas gone. Yeah, no. The Brewers. I think our wires got crossed on that little rant. I certainly wasn't trying to say that the Brewers are still a problem. They're definitely not 20 games better than anyone else. I would agree that they're probably the bottom 2 at least in that division. Probably last. And then it might be sell time to see what you can maybe rent out somebody at the break. But as a whole, baseball talent-wise is pretty concentrated to a few divisions. The National League West, the American League East, the National League East if the Braves turn it around, but they've kind of come out the gate stumbling. Need Acuna back pretty bad. But the Mets and Phillies are also, you know, them and the Mets. But I think talent-wise, those are 3 divisions I'm kind of looking at. Otherwise, if you're not in one of those divisions, I mean, if you're on an average plus team, I can see it. And even the Mariners, like the Mariners pitching rotation should be pretty great. So, you look at the AL West, it's open too. Like, even if you're like a diehard Angels fan right now, and I don't think the Angels are the best out there in that division, most divisions are wide open, despite what happened the first five games. 7.2 innings for Wisniewski in March. 11 strikeouts. 185 average allowed, but a 1.43 whip because of 3 walks in that last game. No homers, a 1.4 ground out to air out ratio. So we do like to see the elevated ground ball rate. I guess he had a high ground ball rate to lefties last year. To righties, a little bit more in the air. Giants should be half and half. Some ability to get the strikeout. Lineup does have some strikeouts. Astros are actually home dogs here. Boy, that escalated quickly. I think it's a Logan Webb respecting, though. Let's go Logan Webb, DK on the interest ranking. And then let's go... I'm kind of interested in Wisniewski for DK purposes. 71 pitches in that last outing. Last spring start for Wisniewski. And by the way, let me go put cold wind in the Chicago notes for those of you that are members. Cold wind blowing in projected night before. I don't know. Whatever. I feel like I'm leaving myself notes. So right now, there are 2 pitchers, and then the Giants. I think, dude, Wilmer Flores, man, what's going on here? You just take him out of Oracle, and we're back. Ooh. Wilmer Flores has 3 homers. What is happening? See in a group chat with Jerks and Profar? Hello? 600 ISO. That's funny. Anyway, Wisniewski was not immune to the homers. So I guess if you want to cherry pick from this game, look for some bombs. Less of a ground ball pitcher to righties, so maybe you're looking for those guys that can drive. Maybe a Willy Adames, the aforementioned via chat. Matt Chapman is still a little pop so far, and then Wilmer Flores, who we usually play for lefty pop in years prior. So far this season, I think, both sides. I don't know, man. I don't think I'm getting the stacks of either team right now, but cherry picking a homer from the Giants team may not be crazy. The park boost for lefties over the Crawford box, that's not really what we're attacking. I think I'm looking at like Adames. Yeah, maybe Adames. What did that pull Adames bomb detector rating? A game of 368. That's something crazy. I'll just leave it at that. Flores has a BVP homer off of him. That's funny. I don't really care. Like, not in an offensive way. I don't typically care about BVP. It's not really a thing, but it's a fun stat. One for 5. Good for him. That's the guy I would pick pre-flop. So in this case, BVP's right. Adames would be the one I'm looking at if I'm cherry picking. Leaving it at that. Rooker's in a good spot tomorrow too. You're talking about for BVP? Dang, we got to the late games real fast, huh? There's 4 of them though. That late slate tomorrow might be decent. Might be a 4-game late slate. That's fun for those of you that work late. Tigers at the Mariners. Casey Mize taking on Logan Gilbert. We got to go into spring for Casey. This song opened up the show yesterday. Was it Pogen? Somebody said in the comments of yesterday. Felt like it was a soundtrack they heard at PF Chang's. And I thought to myself, I don't think I've ever been inside of PF Chang's. I drive by one all the time. Random thought. 17 innings in spring for Casey. 22 strikeouts. 153 average allowed. 1 on the whip. 1.3 ground out to error ratio. All that's good. At least a walk in every game in March. Only 1 bomb. Numbers were fine. 83, 70 pitches in 2 of his last 3 games. So we'll put 83 pitches on 319. Spring stats looked good overall. The strikeouts were not there for him last season. 17% K rate and a sub 10% swing and strike rate. So it's a little encouraging to see 22 strikeouts in 17 innings, 7 strikeouts and 3, 4 and 4. But we don't really know per se who he's striking out. Like, these could be fringe quad A invites, you know what I mean? 7 strikeouts on 47 pitches is so efficient. Who played in those games? We got Adames. So Lamont Wade, Adames, these are big leaguers. Didn't get Chappie. Helio Ramos struck out twice. He strikes out. So it wasn't like a super watered down lineup, to his credit. So maybe there is something there for him. What are they opening up K props for him if they did? They got him at 7 and they got him at 4.5. Wow, they got Logan Gilbert at 7.5 with juice on the over. Excuse me. We're about to look at that. Where did that tab go? I lost it. There it is. So 4.5, dude. I'll tell you what. Juice is on the over already. So that probably, by the time this settles, is probably 5.5 in the morning. There's a lot of strikeouts in this Mariners lineup. If he's going to continue his strikeout ways from spring, and it looks like he's ramped up pitch count wise, so I'm kind of interested in that. See if PrizePicks has that lineup. They do not. That was you? 3.2 run total for the Tigers, 4 for the Mariners. So we'll go Gilbert automatic 1 on the interest ranking, then Casey Mize. This might be a little young gun pitcher showdown. I'll tell you what. And is there a weakness in Mize's game? Not really. Heavy ground balls. There's just nothing to love here. So give me these 2 pitchers. These pitchers look like, Logan Gilbert looks like he's about to shape the slate. 10.6K on Fanduel, 9K on DraftKings, a 35% K rate in the opening game, 27% last year. All that's what you want. 19% swing and strike rate. Not much to not love in this matchup in terms of strikeout ceiling. So, yep, Gilbert, Casey Mize, and that's all I got to say about that. Glaber out for the Tigers. We saw Malloy lead off yesterday. This lineup is just a who's who of who's that with Javi Baez in the 9 hole. I talked about that yesterday, and then he doubled. Does he hate me? Probably. Some ladder K props for some cannabis and snacks money gun. I wish I could. I'm in Texas, man. We legalize everything but sports betting, dude. I don't get it. I don't get it. Guardians at the Padres. Logan Allen taking on Michael King. Let me check something real quick. For you spreadsheet nerds, I'm deleting the other Logan Allen. Funny thing about baseball is a lot of people have the same name. Do you guys know there's a pitcher for the Tigers named Wilmer Flores? There's 2 Luis Garcias. There's 2 Max Muncies. And there's 2 Logan Allens. I am deleting the other one because I can't see a need for his stats right now. And I want to make sure we're pulling the right stats on the index portal. Now, let's go pull up Logan Allen in the minors, in the spring training. 1, 2, 3, 4 March starts, 14.1 innings, 14 Ks, 119 overall whip, 241 average allowed, 0.76 ground out to air out ratio, no homers. So whip isn't like pristine, but the strikeout per inning is nice. What was the pitch count in that last game? 78 pitches. Last spring game. K per inning. Good, not elite whip, right? Or it's really due to the average allowed. Were the odds, right, Bill? And they were both drafted by the freaking same team. Would love to believe there was some like drunk GM that woke up mid-binge. I was like, oh, Max, like, gotta get Max Muncy. I had a dream. And then it was like, wait, no, that was just real life from years ago. He was good. Logan Allen coming into this season boasts an average 20% K rate in the last 2 seasons, 18% last season, sub 9% swing and strike rate last season, barrel rate kind of high, kind of not what you want, but spring training looks solid. Padres throw in Michael King. This will be his second outing. First outing, didn't get a lot of outs, not what you want. They're hoping for him to bounce back. He's facing a Guardians team that saw J-Ram pop yesterday. We'll probably load up a little lefty heavy, especially at the top. I got 1 through 5 of the projected starting lineup. Batting in the left batter's box. So keen on Michael King's lefty splits last year was fine overall, but a 4.12 xFIP, elevated line drive rate, elevated hard contact rate. But this park can swallow some lefty bombs, 10% below league average in home run power allowed. So not like a gangster spot for Michael King, but not like a gangster spot for the Guardians offense. And then Padres against Allen. It's a little bit intriguing. I'm waiting on the slate for them to pop. But man, I tell you what, their metrics are like kind of really bad against lefties going into last year, huh? Jesus, it's like Machado and the Sunshine Gang when it when I type L here. Look at this. Versus right-handed pitching, hey, everybody's good. Against left-handed pitching, hey, one guy's good. I feel like I believe in positive regression for Tatis. A lot of this is based on a hurt Tatis last year. Bogey, I expect to do better. But that's kind of funny how that works out. Is there any merit in taking a shot at Logan Allen here? I wish the K rates were higher. All right, so my interest rankings here are probably going to be Padres Substack. A little bit more talent than matchup. Michael King, more so on DK. And that's it. Right? Guardians are like weird to stack anyway. You can give me Jose Ramirez, maybe Steven Kwan. Once you get 4 or 5 deep, you start wondering. Tucker bomb. Tucker finally homered. A little too late though. Ohtani got the over for me on fantasy points, so god dang, Tucker's got 37 PrizePicks fantasy points, so that's a profitable PrizePicks night. That's good to see. What's going on with DFS tennis? Must be a rain delay or something. You're in the wrong chat, bro. Dude, playing tennis in the rain sounds insane. Be slipping all over the place, dude. I wear sandals everywhere unless I'm going to a wrestling event. And the other day I was walking in the rain, wet parking lot. I get into the store. I even wipe my feet. I get to walk in on the tiles in 7-Eleven. Dude, I was skating, bro. So I can't imagine what it's like running zigzags, chasing a ball. Cubs in the Athletics. Justin Steele taking on Luis Severino. 4.3 run total for the Cubs, 3.9 for the Athletics. This will be game 2 of Sutter Health Park. And it'd be interesting to see how the world reacts in the DFS and sports betting bubble to what happened in game 1. Right now, in game 1, as we just mentioned, Kyle Tucker bomb, the Cubs have 18 runs. Athletics have 3. By the way, did Tucker homer off a position player? Johnny Pareda? Was that who gave up the bomb? TJ McFarland? I feel like there's no way you have a pitcher out there in that situation. He's a catcher. That's funny. Hey man, Bomb Detector had Kyle Tucker homering yesterday. So what if he homers in the 9th off of a backup catcher? It counts. Buy my lineups. Yeah, it looks like it was Johnny Pareda. Anyway, what I was getting at is, are people going to instantly say that this is going to be Coors Light? And I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying there was a lot of bad pitching on display for the Athletics yesterday. And I know Severino had that really fun first game. But that ERA is not in tune with that expected ERA. And that's Sierra. No siree Barbaran. So let's go pull up my boy left. And I hope he's the GOAT. But a little bit of luck went his way, yeah. Let's go game. In that game, he had a 4.5 xFIP 100% left on base as expected with a 0. 214 BABIP. A little lucky. A little lucky. Yeah, Tucker was going crazy. Tucker had a double. Like I said, if you're ever on somebody for a homer and you play PrizePicks, go get some hedgement on the fantasy points. Obviously, you can get a little bit more on the home run as self props, but I was good when this show started. I didn't care about what Tucker did. I just needed Ohtani to get there, and I just looked at Ohtani got there. So I'm happy. It's a profitable night. Let's do it. Tucker's really good at the baseball. Anyway, 4.3 run total right now for the Cubs, 3.9 for the Athletics. Now, Severino is not a go ace like he used to be, but he's not Estes and Mitch Spence and Noah Murdoch. Those are 3 pitchers the Athletics threw out yesterday. You certainly know Johnny Pareda. So it's gonna be interesting to see what the field's at on that. 10% swing and strike rate in that first game, 24% K rate. Had a very fun celebration to get that QS, but this Cubs team can get you. 9K on Fanduel is kind of an overreaction, I think. I'm going Cubs offense in the interest ranking. Justin Steele, 18% K rate in that first 9 innings of work. Guess we're going into the Japan series. Let's go look at his game metrics. Hello? .34 xFIP in that last game. What a 7.38 FIP, 11.25 ERA, 3.33 BABIP, 2.94 BABIP. Kind of the opposite of the results Sevy was getting. But a 3.4 xFIP is encouraging, and the 2.67 Sierra. So this seems to imply a little bit of bad luck, and he was going against a pretty good baseball team. I'd heard of him. 18% barrel. God dang. Fun with small samples. And then 13.4% swing and strike rate. 65% first pitch strike. Well, love that a little bit higher, but love the ability to miss bats against the Dodgers. I'm trying to talk myself into Steele. I think I am. 8,200 for him on DK, 87 on FanDuel. So I think if we're going to rankings, I'm going Cubs, Justin Steele. The Athletics do have a couple sneaky bats here if you're believing in the park. Against lefties, a row of 230 plus aggregate ISO against lefties, including Butler and Blade, who would inhibit. Is that a word? Inhibit? That's not a word, right? Inhibit. It is a word, but I don't know what the F I was saying. Inherit. That lefty splits, and last year that was pretty elite. A 30% K rate, 0.6 home run per night. So yeah, give me Steele, and that's it. I think I'm getting to any scenario and I'm stacking the Athletics. But if you get your Brent Rooker, your Langoliers bomb, I'll be happy for you. I will. Last game versus Dodgers. Unlucky results metric-wise. Encouraged by high swinging strike percentage. The Athletics... I know the Dodgers, and you, sir, are no Dodgers. Hap is fired up. God dang it, bro, the game's over. Speaking of games over, we got one more game and this show is over. So one more pause for the cause. Let you guys know today only, April 1st, 2025. You can lock in for the whole baseball season at MLBgrind.com for $1.99. Now you could just get a week pass or a month pass, whatever. But $1.99 gets you the entire season of access to the MLB Grind VIP spreadsheet and the MLB Grind Discord. And we will be grinding this season together. We have been featuring the bomb detector, same bomb detector you know and love for years past. I've been posting daily handcrafted pitcher projections, and then by the end of this week we'll have hitter projections as well. And I've been doing my best to kind of serve each niche within our bubble: the sports betting, the prop betting, and the DFS, and answering questions as best I can. And I'm having some fun strategy and just baseball chat. So if you want to get in that, it's a good way to support the stream, support the site. Remember, there is no monetization on the YouTube channel, which is the reason why I don't care about this music that's playing. I'm getting like copyright notice, and it's like, hey, they're getting whatever. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't get anything. I'm dang near gonna play some Morgan Wallen while I'm researching if I could. If on Twitch I would, but it would just mute the audio. So yeah, that's today only. Take advantage of it. MLBgrind.com. Last game tonight, the Braves at the Dodgers. Chris Sale taking on Dustin May in April. It's weird. We have a run total of 3.8 for the Braves, 4.5 for the Dodgers, minus 149 home favorites. Chris Sale, normally good. Rough spot here against a really good Dodgers team. That should depress and suppress his ownership. And if it gets too low, I'm in. ERA 5.4 on the season. Unlucky, metric-wise. 2.4 expected ERA, 201 Sierra, 14% swing and strike rate, and just a 12% called strike rate from that first game, 7% barrel rate. So maybe we can dig a little bit deeper into that. But I'm not going to get too intent on splitting hairs from one game, and then he's also pitching against the friggin' Dodgers. But against San Diego, 73% first pitch strike, and only had a 12% called strike. Are they just fouling everything off? A 0. Oh wait, wrong tab here. Let me close that so I don't do that again. .043 whip, a 1.8 xFIP. Overall metrics were great. It looks like he was a little bit on the unlucky side. He had 5 batted ball events that were classified as hard hit. A 429 BABIP. That'll happen when you have 5 hard hit balls. So a little bit unlucky there. I think the story with Sale for me today is just going to be what is his ownership versus what is his ownership. If you can get Chris Sale like under 10% against the Dodgers, maybe under 6%, I'd be interested. I do think he's like good. Is he standalone good, better than rest of the field to where he's going to absolutely smoke a Logan Gilbert performance or something, you know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know. Like, even if he scores around what Logan Gilbert scores, well, you could have just played Logan Gilbert. So I'm not trying to get overly cute with it. But if his ownership's disrespected enough, I'm willing to get there. Tough matchup. Tough luck in game 1, metrics-wise. Tough matchup for Sale, but if projected too low owned, I'll grab some. And then, man, on that 4-game night slate, god dang, that's where all the pitching is. Sale, Justin Steele, so far with pitchers that I'm actually interested in. Logan Gilbert, Casey Mize. That's like 4 pitchers in the man. If you get some table setter offensive lineups, and then you just get to sweat Logan Gilbert at 10 p.m., 9 p.m., that'd be fun. Dustin May's pitching for the Dodgers. It's been a while. Let's go pull up Dustin May's spring. That game's free on MLB TV. Shout out Manfred. 68 pitches in his last spring game. 9 Ks, 8 innings. Over K per inning. He's somebody I think should be good. His last full season in the league wasn't like fantastic. Sub 1 whip. K percentage was meh. I don't know that he's going to be a contact pitcher going forward, and he did generate more strikeouts than innings pitched in spring. And the Braves lineup, especially now without Profar, can strike out. 8,100, once again a tempting price. Sizable enough favorite with an implied 75 pitch count, I think. Not 75, 80 to 85. Like you wouldn't have to pull my arm for me to be like, I see why you're playing him. But there's just so much unknown here. What were like other projection models saying about Dustin May this season? Steamer had his K per 9 at 979. Zips at over 9. I mean, this is cool. Strikeout prop for May, does one exist? So far, no. I'll do a refresh. I think it's viable in the sense that, like, in a vacuum, I get the case. So I'm gonna put them on the list. I'll put both pitchers on the list, but then, like, from a DFS question, is it necessary versus what's available today in terms of risk reward? I feel like the answer is no. Even on the 4-game slate. But if you think he can be a 1-4 to 1-5 strikeout guy, he's a sizable favorite. Braves have been kind of rough start the season. They scored 1 run yesterday in the 8th inning. They got hit with the Profar news. I think there's merit. There's reasonable suspicion to pull over the Braves and say, hey, I'm pitching an 8K pitcher against you. So I'm gonna put May and Sale. I'm gonna put May above Sale just based on the price and matchup. And then I think the Dodgers are just always in play. They're never not in play. And then sometimes you get a situation where I don't play the Dodgers because it's Chris Sale, but I don't play Chris Sale because it's the Dodgers. And then neither side gets ownership. Well, I'll play both sides. I don't really want to get to a Brave stack here, but you're okay if you bet on talent. Olsen, Ozuna. But I'm not going to get to a stack there. Bam. That is the first sweep of research through the main slate. All games, actually, for tomorrow. Let's get caught up on chat. Any questions, comments, concerns, your leans, your your ideas, your bold calls, whatever you got, throw them at me. And if you're not here live in chat, throw them in the comments below. Remember, engaging with the videos helps a lot. You guys have been leaving a lot of comments, and I appreciate every single one of them. Even the comments are just like, I appreciate that, because any type of engagement with the videos is going to help us get reactivated in the YouTube algorithm, which the subs, we've got like 40 subs and over the weekend. I'll take that. So I appreciate it. So if you don't get a paid membership, that's cool. It's whatever. You're here live in chat. You're leaving comments. You're hitting thumbs ups. You're sub. Whatever you're doing, show some love. That's love, and I appreciate it. Let's get caught up in chat. What's up, Doug? Hope you've been alright, dude. What up, Tall? Yeah, I've been here. I've been back to start the weekends or the season. So if you miss the comeback, the idea for this season is, you guys know I kind of broke away to deal with a lot of real life opportunities. If you follow me on Twitter, I assume everybody here knows, but outside of this, I do the thing where I don't know, rustle. That's a little bit of me. And for the past 2 years, yeah, I'm a big scary looking dude. I've been really focusing on wrestling, and then I was helping my sister with her business. But while I was doing all that, I was like, man, I really miss grinding the DFS streets. So it's been on my heart. I almost came back for NBA. Almost came back last year. But I got to thinking, man, there's just no way I'm grinding an NBA season of news. This is just not happening. And then last year for baseball, I was like, can I really commit to every day? And I just couldn't. This year, I felt like I could. There's going to be some weekends where I got to travel for wrestling, but I'll make it work. But this year, I'm back. And the idea was to go ahead and fire up a little community, the premium community at MLBgrind.com. And as long as the website, one, pays for itself, and if it makes a little extra cheddar where I can not have to work on some other stuff, cool. And right now, it's been fine. We got 12 members. I appreciate everybody for signing up, and I'm trying to make that as valuable as possible in return. So I am back, but I'm committed to baseball. You won't see me, at least anytime soon, doing any NBA streams or football streams. I just want to focus on baseball and be as valuable to the baseball, DFS, and sports betting community as I can. And I think there's some great minds out there for content for baseball, but those guys are being stretched thin right now because they're grinding every sport. And I think with me, you're just going to get me over here worried about baseball. I'm not serving two masters, you know what I mean? So I'll be here. We're going to try to iron out a same start time every night. It's looking like between 10:30 and 11 Central is probably going to be the wheelhouse. And then after this week, we'll have more stuff that it's automated in a spreadsheet, the hitter projection and stuff like that. And then I'll be able to kind of find some windows in the schedules, and you're going to see some collaborations, hopefully. There's for sure going to be something. Ironically, me and him haven't talked one-on-one, but there's for sure going to be a me and Terry something soon. And maybe we can make that a somewhat periodic combo show, you know? Me, Terry, yeah, for sure. That's going to happen. It will happen, without a doubt. And shout out to Terry, dude. I did what Terry has been doing for the last couple of years. That is not easy. He's doing it. Shout out to Terry. Any DFS lineup suggestions? Where do you play at, Doug? Oh, by the way, guys, I feel kind of bad I haven't mentioned it, but Stochastic was generous enough to set up an affiliate program with me for their contest simulator tool. I'm still trying to learn it, so I can speak better on it. But if you guys have been on the fence about signing up for that, there is an affiliate link in the description below to get into that. But I need to learn more about it because I don't know what the F I'm doing with the Sims, man. The DFS passed me by. I was gone for a minute, and now people are talking about 10,000 simulations. And I was like, just give me 50% Taj Bradley, bro. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. So we got that too. So hopefully that'll lead to more affiliate deals and partnerships. We'll have a pretty successful return to the industry. Yeah, DraftKings. All right, I'll take a look at DraftKings. DraftKings main slate. I believe DraftKings still has this thing where you're not supposed to give out lineups. So I'll do a little where I would start and leave a couple blanks. Yeah, I mean. So pitching wise, I definitely go Gilbert. And then I'm kind of feeling Justin Steele. Now, let's go look at the bomb detector. Bomb detector loves the Rangers, but that's not on this slate, is it? So let's take out Texas. Let's take out Cincy. What's the other game that's not on this slate? Is it the Marlins game in the Mets? I think so, yeah. Yeah. It's a fire beat, dude. I just kind of want to drop a quick 15 real quick. Let me reset this. I don't know what's going on. Cincy, Texas. All right, bomb detector to fill in some blanks around these two pitchers. First of all, Aaron Judge is in a league of his own, but I'm not running there. Man, I'd hate to get too crazy behind these D-backs here. Why is Pavin Smith so freaking high? Oh, because Will Warren has 10 innings of sample where he got shellacked by lefties. Just a few guys, yeah. All right, scrolling real quick. Who are pitchers we want to pick on? I do think there's a real explosion chance for the D-backs, so. And we don't quite know what's going on with the pitching situation for the Brewers. Man, dude, am I going to be a D-back stand today? I think we're going back to the Cubs here, man. That's my boy. I love Sevy to death, but Kyle Tucker all day. He's 6K, though. You got to go up there and get him. So I'm going to go up there and get him. Corbin Carroll in Yankee Stadium could be a problem, but, man, you got to pay for those guys, dude. DK did an incredible job of pricing. So let's go down to let's go find some value. How much a baseball guy? Most everybody used to really watch our NBA content since we got. It's been watching Terry. It's fantastic. Yeah, no, 100%. I love basketball, so I want to put that out there. It's not like I don't love basketball, and I say this all the time. Like, baseball is my baby, but I make no mistake about it. I wouldn't have 8,000 subs on this channel, and you guys would probably not know who I am if it wasn't for basketball. But ironically, I got my break with Stochastic because of my baseball stuff, so it all kind of worked out. But basketball, at this day and age, for someone like me who doesn't have easy access to sports betting in Texas, the DFS is drying out for NBA. I mean, I don't even play basketball DFS right now, and I can see how stressful it is. It is like preseason NBA out there right now. The daily news grind. It's the game is so, it takes a lot of time to grind the news, and then the game itself is kind of solved. So starting now to put out some content for DFS NBA, you're just kind of wasting time. I think the future of all that is going to be sports betting and prop betting. And I just wouldn't feel right if I can't actually have my money on it out there. Although every time I have had some access, you get kind of restricted really fast if you're profitable. So it's an industry that it's going to take a lot of regulating and work for me to kind of be all in. And I ain't got the time for it on NBA. I figure at my age, I got a small window to go out there and beat up my body on the weekends, and then maybe when I get into the 40s, I might come back to the basketball side. But baseball is a little bit easier to cover on a day-to-day basis. That's where we're at on that. Man, I just went to rambling. We're gonna find some value here for my boy Bill, who's looking like they're too cheap in a spot. All right, I think catcher's the spot I always punt on DraftKings. Almost never going to pay up for a catcher. Anybody cheap enough down here? Yeah, I wonder if you, if you get Johnny Paredes strikeouts. Who's Cincy? Oh, that's not on the slate. I was gonna say, I think there was a catcher today that got injured. It might open up some. Christian Vasquez. Just gonna click a random catcher name. We're trying to get our average player remaining balance as high as possible. 4K is respectable. So we get Tucker, Steele, Gilbert. I don't care who you play catcher. That's just my punt spot. Yo, Aranda? Oh, I thought he was catcher eligible. Aranda was pretty high in the bomb detector, I think. He was protected batting cleanup. Against Justin Lawrence, who against lefties last year got beat up a little bit. High ground ball rate, so this could hurt. A little bit of value there to bring our AAV down. I might even put him in the two hole. Now we're at 43.40. Suarez in Yankee Stadium just looking at me. You like Carson Kelly? Is he their everyday starter? That's his second start in 4 days. Yeah, no matter who we punt, we're not sure from this far out if they're actually gonna play. I'm just trying to make a AA. Then Michael Bush against Sevy is interesting. Connect him to Kyle Tucker back to back. Homered yesterday was a good sign. Coming into this season. With almost a 200 ISO against righties. Does strike out a lot though, but Savvy normally doesn't strike out people a lot in the last couple of years. So it was just 44.50. Go back to the bomb detector. Who's somebody we can pay up for and handcuff him to a cheapie? Dude, Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll. Ketel Marte is only 3,800. Oh, I gotta do it, but I can't, huh? Might have to put Aranda back in the one spot. All right, let's do Ketel second. Wait, he's 49. Why did I say 38? Oh, that's his Fanduel price. I'm a dopey. I got all excited. No, we'll stick with the process. Bush, Aranda. Unda. We kind of looked at Adames for a homer against Wisniewski if he's batting top top 3, but I don't want to do that. I want to go 2-2s if I'm building out a random lineup. Had a free ticket on Fanduel. Fortunately played Jimenez, Tucker, and Andres Jimenez. Is this power surge? Is this a real thing? Because he was like part of the contact but no power Guardians, right? And now he's just like he's got 3 homers all of a sudden. What's going on here? Homie fix his swing or something? 50% hard contact rate this year. 63% fly ball rate. Obviously not going to sustain a 30% home run to fly ball ratio, but something's good there. So yeah, that was good at you. Yeah, baseball's tough, but it's fun. I think we're going. I want to pick on this 300, let's say 290 average allowed to righties the last 2 years by Logan Allen. There's not really a cheap righty other than, I guess, Yuli Gurriel, but that it just feels weird. And we've already got first base. A couple of years ago, though, that'd be a crazy price. Tricky. All right, how about we throw a new bar? Maybe he stays hot. In the leadoff spot, 4,600 per. Would really want to handcuff 2 boppers together. Xander and Tatis or Machado would be sexy based on what's available. I don't think it's gonna be possible. Bobby Witt's 6K, but man, if Milwaukee continues to throw nothing, yeah, maybe we get some exposure to at least the Royals, if nothing else. What's on the board for the Royals? Maikel Garcia. He freaking homered yesterday. That's not really his thing. He usually just steals 100 bases. So kudos to you if you played Maikel Garcia yesterday. Can we do a 3-man stack here? He's pretty cheap, actually. Go him, Bobby Witt. 3,800 for... Nah, I would love... Can we get my cousin Vinny here at the 1B? That gives us 26 for an outfielder. And we don't know who Milwaukee's throwing. We're just kind of betting on talent here. I believe Victor Scott homered the other day, and he kind of takes advantage of that lefty splits of Kyle Hendricks. So maybe he's an option. Remember, I can't fill it out, but you know, it's possible. What up, AOD? Hope you're doing all right. So I guess I just end up being into a Royal stack. So that's what I would do. I can handcuff Tucker. I took the handcuff of Tucker out, actually, but I do want a piece of Tucker against Sevy. I guess I'm a Royal stacker right now from where I'm at. Anyway, that's a look at it. Yeah. What's up, dude? What's up, JJ? What's up? Hey, yo, what up, Doug? Appreciate y'all. I remember the first time I was on a stochastic show, I didn't know if anybody would know who I was. And as soon as they put my camera on, I looked over at chat, and it was just flooded with yours. I was like, they know. Let's go. All right. Jake Mangum. The Ray. Maybe you can get into a Ray stack, I guess. A Rays and Royals stack. That's what you're thinking. Against Justin Lawrence. I think that's That's fine. He's at the bottom of the barrel, though. The barrel. I like the Aranda look, just based off the bomb detector, but you can kind of get to a lot here. Aranda's second base, right? You can't really get to Lau and somebody else, but you could forego Tucker and go back to like a Brandon Lau. Or no, you can't. Johnny DeLuca, dude, he was in my top lineup on Sunday. Oh boy, was stealing bags. Let's go, Johnny. Anyway, that's why I play with it. I just stack a lot of teams. I like pitching for the most part. And the pessimist in me is really thinking that the Diamondbacks have a good day today. Maybe it becomes a slugfest, but this is a talented team with a short porch ability. And if they just get on, Corbin Carroll runs, and you can dig into that short porch for Ketel Marte, Josh Naylor, Corbin Carroll, Haven Smith. This team is in a really good spot today, and I hate to say it, but I'm saying it. Who's the guy in Arizona you like the most? Probably whoever leads off is probably going to be either Corbin Carroll or Ketel Marte. But they're basically the same play on DraftKings price-wise. It's a really good team. Anyway, that's going to do it. So tomorrow, get to sleep in a little bit. And the action starts. There's a 2-game slate. I doubt anyone here is going to play it. And then 25 minutes later, the main slate starts. So we'll fire things up in the Discord around 4 to 4:30 my time. So if you guys jump in there, take advantage of that April 1st deal. And hopefully we have a profitable Tuesday night. I appreciate you guys. Whoever's using a torpedo bet. Yeah. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money. Be back tomorrow night. See ya.